Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, then hi, my name is Lauren. And on my channel, we mostly talk about anything luxury, but we also discuss lifestyle and beauty. So if you're interested in any of these topics, please consider subscribing to my channel and we'll get started with the video. So in today's video, I'm presenting you another episode of my Real versus Fake series, this time featuring the Chanel Ballet flats. So if you're curious to find out the differences between real and fake, then please keep on watching. So as usual, we'll start by comparing the packaging, and here the fake factory kindly included the box, which is pretty nice. So can you tell which one is the real one and which one is the fake one? So over here in this hand, we have the real box, and over here in this other hand, we have the fake box. So right off the bat, they're really similar. I would say the main difference is in terms of sizing of the box. So both are rectangles, but the real box, which again is here, is slightly larger, slightly wider than the fake box, which is here. Other than that, in terms of the font of the Chanel, in terms of like the material of the box, it really is super similar. Next up, we'll move on to the certificate of authenticity. Very unfortunately, the fake factory did not include a dust bag. That would have been next on my list, but they did not include it. So we will move on to the certificate of authenticity. And here the difference is pretty large. So over here in this hand, we have the real one, and over here in this other hand, we have the fake one. So obviously the certificate of authenticity for the real shoes is going to say chaussures. Chaussures in French means shoes. And over here for the fake ones, it says petite maroquinerie, which more or less means like SLG. So obviously shoes are not an SLG, so it's pretty weird that they included that. I wonder if they like mistakenly included it or if it's just like that every time that they sell shoes, but I found that pretty weird. And obviously that is a massive difference. So now moving on to the shoes themselves. Before we start anything, can you tell which ones are the real one and which ones are the fake ones? So over here in this hand, we have the pair of real Chanel flats, and over here in this other hand, we have the fake ones. So let's perhaps start with leather. So both are made out of genuine leather, even the fake ones, which is really nice. It definitely smells like leather. It feels like leather. However, the leather on the fake ones is a lot more stiff than on the real ones, which definitely makes me believe that they won't be as comfortable. I feel like these would be really hard to break in versus the real ones. And then there's also a little difference in terms of the color of the leather. So the color of the real ones, which again are here, is much brighter, is much more of a lighter shade of beige than the fake ones. The fake ones' leather is a little bit more dull and darker as well. Moving on to the look of the model of the shoes themselves, the first thing to mention would be the little bows that are on the front of the shoes. So the bows for the real ones, which are here, are much smaller and much thinner than the fake ones, which are here. That is a massive difference. It is something that you see right away. It will be super apparent on the close-ups as well. And then the next thing to mention would be the Chanel logo, which is located in the black part of the shoes at the very top. of the shoes. So for the fake ones, which are here, the stitching is much more apparent. It's much thicker and it's much more apparent than for the real ones, which are here. Now, if we look at the inside of the shoes, we will notice that there is virtually no difference. So the fake ones are exactly the same ones as the real ones. It says Chanel, made in Italy, and it has the same exact Chanel logo at the same exact location. So that is the exact replica of the real ones. Next up, we'll be comparing the shoes' bottoms, and here that is actually a huge difference. First of all, if we look at what's on the soles of the shoes themselves, we have the size, of course. I got them in the same size, which is my size, which is European size 39. So on the real shoes, which are here, it just says 39. But then on the fake ones, which are here, it says 39C. I'm really not sure what the C stands for, but it's there and it should not be there. Afterwards, there is the Chanel logo. It says made in Italy, and that's also not the same at all. I think there's a difference in terms of sizing and also in terms of the font that is used. But in my mind, the biggest difference actually comes from the material of the shoes' bottoms. So if we look at the fake ones, which are here, they are much shinier and they're much more slippery than the real ones. The real ones are made out of a very soft material that's also kind of matte. So that really definitely makes me believe that the fake ones, which are here, would be super slippery and really dangerous to wear. If I were planning on wearing them, I would definitely get them resold because I don't think that I could wear them like this in the street. I feel like that would be a huge hazard. The next thing which we'll be talking about is going to be sizing. So like I've mentioned before, I got both in the same size, which is European size 39. But there is actually a small difference in terms of sizing, and it's located like in the width of the shoes. So if we take a look at the real ones, which are here, they're much wider at the very end of the shoes where my toes are than these ones. These ones are very narrow, the fake ones, and so it's a little bit uncomfortable to wear them. Otherwise, they are the same size in terms of like the length, if that makes sense, of the foot itself. But in terms of the width, especially at the very top of the shoes, that's really not the same thing. And finally, let's talk about the comfort level of these babies. So I generally believe that the real ones, which are here, are much more comfortable than the fake ones, which are here. And I think that the reason why is mainly because the fake ones are actually quite heavier than the real ones. They feel heavy on your feet when you wear them. They feel heavy when you carry them. So that is a big difference. And also something that I've mentioned before was the stiffness of the leather. So these would take a really long time to break in versus the real ones. They actually don't take that long. I was very concerned at first because I previously had gotten a pair of Chanel espadrilles and I was never able to break them in. So I still have them and they're still unbroken in, if that makes sense, and really uncomfortable. But these ones really are super comfortable. The fake ones, I would rate them as a maybe like 6 or 7, and the real ones definitely a 9 or a 10. So in conclusion, I would say that the pair of fake Chanel Ballet flats was a pretty good dupe. It wasn't a mirror 1-1 replica but it was a pretty good dupe, I would say, especially for shoes. For shoes, I had a really hard time dropping a bunch of money on the real ones. I felt like, you know, they were going to get damaged quickly, that it wasn't a very good investment, that it wasn't a very good use of money. So if you're ever, you know, trying to wear these but don't want to spend like $700 or plus $700 on them, this is a very, very good option. So if you're interested in getting these, I will go ahead and leave all of the relevant information in the description box of the video down below. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was informational and beneficial for you in case you were looking at acquiring a pair of Chanel Ballet flats on the pre-owned market and didn't want to get a fake one. I hope that was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.